Hello, hello. Why am I saying hello, hello? Hello, peoples of the internet. I am recording on my bed because I am lazy. Oh, hello, Gunther. Plus, there's also a kind of huge pile of stuff right where I usually record my intros. Also, I forgot to record an intro to this because I've pretty much made everything else already except for the voiceover. Today's video, I'm gonna compare traditional and digital art because, what are you doing, Gunther? Well, there's a lot of debate on what is better sometimes, but there's a lot of debate on what is the better one, or if digital art is real art, or I don't know. Should all artists switch to should all artists switch to digital immediately? Otherwise, you ain't gonna get a job. I highly doubt that's an argument. I highly doubt it, but you know, if you can come up with it, someone in the world has that opinion. That's what I say. Also, I made this sketch. I made this sort of sketch that I'm gonna be trying to build onto in both digital and traditional art. So, uh, but I kinda already drew and finished the traditional piece, but I took a picture of it for digital, so I'll put that up there for you so you didn't miss out on much. So we are going to work. Gunther, we are going to work on this digitally and traditionally, and we will find out just what might be better, if either one at all. I honestly don't know why I'm making this. I thought it'd just be fun. Okay. Okay, first of all, can I say that it was hard getting these two screens to line up with each other. I mean, I don't know how long I've worked on just this part. My editing software, which I finally got to work, is confusing. So, as you can see, the way that I'm doing this is kind of similar at first, starting out with the line art over top of the sketch, and yeah. So, I noticed that a lot of people like to think of digital art and traditional art as two very different things, hardly the same thing. But look, here, I'm doing the same thing already, line arting stuffs. Well, technically I'm doing a lot of erasing on the right side, but whatever. So, a lot of people have this mentality that digital art and traditional art are two very, very freaking different things. And yeah, mediums are different from each other. Digital art isn't that much different from traditional art. It's just on like a different way of doing it. Like watercolor is different from color pencil, which is different from oil painting, which is different from, I don't know, freaking sculpting. Digital art is basically just a new way of doing things, like everything else I just mentioned was. And also, while I was coming up with the whole concept for this video and stuff, this sort of analogy came to mind that, like, working, like, switching from one medium, digital art, to another medium, traditional art, or vice versa, it's kind of like switching countries or whatever. Like, on a lot of countries, you drive on the left side of the road instead of the right side of the road. But in some countries, like in America, you drive on the right side of the road, not the left. And you know how to drive. That you definitely know how to drive. But it's disorienting. It's hard at first learning to drive basically opposite of how you already drive. And yeah, I think I could say digital art is kind of like that. Switching from traditional to digital is kind of like that for me, at least. I bet a lot of originally traditional artists could agree. However, digital art and traditional art have things that make them different, kind of like watercolors have things that make them different from pencils. Like, for one, I'm using my Graphitin pencils, which I have to use with a whole different approach, or at least that's basically how I do it for these pencils, because not every single thing I do has to be, I almost said watercolor, dang it, colored pencil, yeah, I English, yes I do. But as I was saying, digital has some things that are a lot more convenient, like Krita has colorized masks, and there's not transparency, opacity, there's layers, there's all these extra tools that you couldn't use in not digital, traditional. And they come in really handy if you know how to work them right. Or they can just be very freaking confusing if you don't know how to work them right. Exhibit A, me. However, I am trying to learn a bit more, or at least I'm wanting to learn a bit more with digital. So who knows, maybe some of the stuff I'll make will improve on that medium. I mean, this is already a huge improvement from some of the stuff I have made digitally before. But the same sort of process can be said about these graphite pencils or color pencils or pretty much everything I've used. Face it, first time you try out a medium, it's pretty much guaranteed you'll suck at first. But I hope that somewhere in that you found some words of worth, I guess. And we are done with actually, I should say we are done with both of these, because, yeah, we did two in one video, because that's a good idea, totally. So, I like both of these. I kind of have the other one here in its sketchbook in my hand right now, and I'll just put it up on the screen for you. But both of these look pretty different from each other, but they still look cool. I mean, they sort of have different feelings to each of them. I mean, the traditional one feels more watercolory, more, I don't know, I don't know. Do you ever have a weird emotion in your head where nothing really makes sense or whatever, and just something like this pops out? Yeah. Let me think. Yeah, I'm proud of this. I really like it. I don't know which I could say I like more. I mean, even though I wasn't able to get that real watercolory effect that I got with the traditional piece on the digital piece, it still looks good in its own way. I think that if I could have done a couple things, though, it could have looked a bit better. Like, for once, I could have, let me see, where's line art here? So I use colorized mask for all this, and it leaves white spaces sometimes. Like that! That's why I kept picking up pieces of white every time I did a blending thing. Yes, I can English. And that got annoying, and I kind of just tried to ignore that, but only now I realized that I could have just filled in those spots before I did all the shading and stuff, but nope, guess who was too lazy to do that? Me. I'm still learning with digital art too. There are people out there who can make so much freaking better stuff, so much better than me. But that's because they've had a lot more experience with digital art, so I don't know. I hope you enjoyed my 2 cents when drawing this, and I will see you in the next video if you ever see me again, so adios.